Now, around this time of the year, many people go through seasonal blues. This is when one is overcome by an overwhelming feeling of loneliness and inadequacy. This period, many of us take a moment, and some more than others, to reflect on the year that was and sometimes even tally their achieved goals. And for some, their tally does not meet their intended goal. It is also important to understand that the holiday season blues is not necessarily depression, but people who are already diagnosed with depression could find themselves in an even more conflicting state. To speak more about these holiday season blues, what causes them, and how people can deal with them, is clinical psychologist Simphiwe Sinkoyi. Simphiwe, thank you so much for joining us this morning. How prevalent are holiday season blues amongst people in South Africa?
Oh, wow. More than 60%, I would say. It is basically because of lack of planning, I would say, and lack of insight into what is going on with us. Let's say if we have struggles with mental illness and all that, sometimes we don't even know, or we don't even know how to take care of ourselves properly. Like in any phenomenon, planning is contributes to prevention. So if you plan well for the pressures that you are anticipating ahead of you during the festive season, then you are bound to experience less stress, because stress activates a lot of discomfort amongst us, and then causes us to lack focus, and basically that's what I want to say.
Yes, you speak of planning and insight. Would this also then fall within the category of people that are financially distressed? Is that lack of financial planning leading to holiday season blues when you realize that you might have not achieved your year-end financial goals?
Yes, planning your life in totality, which includes planning your financial obligations, your financial goals, and how you're going to meet those, all contributes to your effective stress management abilities. Because basically, the problem here, like what is here, is that stress is the number one killer. Stress activates issues that would basically be dormant, that would basically not suffice, not come to the fore. Basically, if we manage stress properly, then we are bound to cope effectively. That is why most people, they would go to places where they would find tranquil. They would go to places where it's peaceful, where some people say that I want to find myself, because they want to try to manage stress as better as possible. So what I always say is that most people make a mistake of thinking that the festive season is not the time to relax. It's time to always be up and down. Try to do as much activity as you used to during the year. If you were a person who was a regular in terms of taking care of yourself physically, if you were a regular exercising person, if you attended yoga, if you had maybe groups that are geared towards stress management, continue with those, even though it may be to a minimum extent because of your location. Let's say maybe if you go away, but try to do them to a certain degree.
Right. So who do you find is more prone to holiday season blues? Is it more men, females, young, old?
I like that question. It's the same answer that I would give you if you would ask me what is the prevalence of mental illness when compared to men or women or children or the old. Men are prone to opportunistic mental illness issues because of the lifestyle. That is why you'll find that, for example, in schizophrenia, the onset of schizophrenia amongst men is age 18 to age 21. but amongst women it's age 32 to age 34 because of the lifestyle that we lead. Children, if they are in a nurturing environment, they are not much prone to it. But those who are in environments that are not nurturing or that lack care, they may be prone to it. The elderly, it goes the same. Those that are cared for by others are not prone because of the social supports. So basically, social support is a catalyst. But with men, we are more prone to this opportunistic mental health issues because of the lifestyle that we lead. I know that there are men who lead a very healthy lifestyle, but most men are always out there. They're always partying. They're always, and they absorb a lot of stress, a lot of pressures. Because of that, the stress activates mental health issues.
And the contribution towards those opportunistic mental issues, could it be the fact that men are mostly expected to be out fending for their families, and in instances where they feel that they have not fended enough, it could lead to these opportunistic mental issues?
Absolutely, because basically as a man, it's like you correctly put, as a man, there is a societal expectation that you will you're expected to provide, you're expected to deliver, you're expected to support and be a voice of reason, be a voice of strength, be a catalyst for protection and everything. But now, if you struggle, if there's any struggle financially on that part, then you are mostly prone to suffer from stress, and stress leads to the activation of mental health problems.
So how does one then identify these seasonal blues from a loved one or a family member? What do you look out for in order for you to be able to offer assistance?
Basically, you observe the behavior because, the person that you live with, you know them very well. You know how they are on a day-to-day basis. And when there's any change, then it may communicate an underlying mental health issue. Like, for example, if someone suddenly becomes withdrawn, and you know that this person was outgoing, this person was always sociable, but now all of a sudden they are withdrawn, that may be an indication of a depressive episode. That's just an example. So you observe the behavior. Some people may start to be hyperactive. Some people may start to have elevated moods, which may be an indication of also a mood component.
Earlier on you spoke of ways in dealing with such seasonal blues, finding tranquility. What suggestions would you give to people? Because if you're saying that it's seasonal, would one seek medical attention immediately, or do you then wait it out and see how far along do the depression signs continue to show themselves?
Remember, depression or any other mood disorder is a medical problem. That's what most people need to understand. It warrants immediate medical attention, like any medical problem. If you have flu, you don't wait for the season to be over to attend to it. So if you observe any symptoms on anyone, it is imperative upon you to advise them or to assist them to access medical attention. They may consult their GPs, and GP may prescribe something for them on a temporary basis before they are referred to a specialist psychiatrist, or if they can be admitted to a psychiatric facility. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that there's no need for you to wait, because it's still a medical condition like any other medical condition.
Well, then, thank you so much for that contribution, Mr. Simphiwe Sinkoyi. That's clinical psychologist Simphiwe Sinkoyi speaking to us there about seasonal blues and having to see the symptoms around those that we love so we can get them care as soon as possible.